Ah! I love getting to say that to a producer. Mics are hot. Jong Lee in the house. Jong, what is up, buddy? How are you? Welcome.
I'm I think that I'm your first guest to start to start the live stream. Like I'm not like drunk, but I'm at a very good place right now. I fucking like me and my wife, we had the pool open. It was a nice weather. Like we have two dogs and we're like, let's fucking like just stay outside in the pool for a good couple hours and like we fucking like we downed a bunch of beer, we downed a bunch of shameful shameful to admit, but a bunch of White Claw.
Oh
We took
no!
no, she made no, hold on. No. We started
No!
off with Moscow mules. She makes great Moscow Mule. So we started off. I think I drank like three, and I was like, "Fuck, this shit's good." Like I've never had a Moscow Mule before. I was like, I can't taste the vodka. So
Oh,
I
that's
took
never
like
good.
three. Like no, I had three in like 30 minutes, and then like I switched to White Claw and then beer, and then like now I'm sitting here with a Corona because I am pretty blitzed. Like I
No
think
pun
I'm your
intended. Huh?
first. Am I your first guest to be blitzed as this thing is going?
Yeah, I don't think anybody got drunk no, definitely nobody started drunk. Um, Charles Adams and I were drinking quite a bit during, and then AJ had a beer during, but I don't think anybody's been this hammered this early, John. So good job, buddy. Outstanding. And by the way, I found this. I was looking for this. I thought I was out, and I found it. So I'll be partaking with you. Have no fear. Now, of course, I'll be drinking it with Diet Coke like a real man does, but I digress. Dude, how the fuck have you been, man? Oh, we lost your mic there. You've got it on mute. Flip it around. I can see the mute button there. There you go.
Okay. All right. Like a professional I am. No, I've been good. Like I told Fred and AJ on Friday, they were celebrating their 10th, and yeah, I've been like this the COVID thing, corona, like the quarantine thing. It really had me because for the last 6 months I've been taking 6 months. Last 5 months I've been taking classes. I've been like at home, like I've been doing online shit and like so it hasn't really bothered me and like I'd go out to stores and stuff like that, but the only thing like socially, that's the only thing that's really bothered me. Like but I've had finals the last couple of weeks, and so like maybe it'll start hitting me where I don't have classes and that kind of thing, but I've been okay. Oh, I got the burps. But I've been okay. I've been like Uh, I've been okay. I've been studying, like if we need to go to Costco, we have masks, we go to Costco and that shit. But like other than that, like nothing has really changed for me.
Everybody's telling me my mic is fully static. Is that better? Because if so, if not,
I
we're
can hear you.
screwed. I sound okay to you?
Yeah, I can
Well,
hear you fine.
let's see. John might be drunk, but he has no slur or anything. And I'm impressed. Yeah. By the way, I have a chat going, so people can hear you. Or
Where's this
people
chat
can
on
chat.
YouTube?
Huh?
Where's the chat?
You would have to go to Facebook and YouTube to see it. It combines it. You won't be able to see what I see, but I have it where it
Oh, okay.
combines it. Yeah. Let's see here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to
Oh boy, this is not good.
I'll go to YouTube. Oh
Now
no.
everybody's saying my mic is jacked up. Sounds bad still. Let me re-add my video, everybody. Hold on one second here. Let me. Is that any better, guys? On my microphone? Check one, two. Check one, two. Any better? If not, we're kind of fucked. John Rathjen wants to know, what are you doing now, John? What are you doing now? You answer that.
I'm just in school. I got my real estate license. I'm a realtor. But I've quickly figured out like it's one of those things where like I don't know, like you have to be very type A, and I don't know if I'm that. and I have it in my back. So if I, it's one of those side jobs where, if I come across somebody that needs a house, I can definitely sell, look for homes and that kind of thing. But like I told the guys on Friday that I'm basically looking to become a teacher, and it took a while for me to figure out what I wanted to do. And talking to Tepper and then talking to my wife Teresa, she was like, "Why don't you become a teacher?" Tepper was always like, "Dude, you're so good at like, developing talent and that kind of thing, working with producers." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't know if I want to like get back into radio and that kind of thing." And then Teresa was like, "Combine that with like teaching kids. Why don't you become a high school teacher and then maybe work your way up to college?" And I was like, you know what? That's not a bad idea. So I've been getting my master's, and I've been my first semester in math course, and then I'm almost getting my teacher certification. So the COVID
That's
thing has
badass,
really
man.
like, yeah, your mic is a little echoey.
Okay, yeah, let me try this again now. I'm gonna switch back to my Yeti mic. Is that better for you, John?
Yeah, yep, better for me. I don't know if it's better for the people.
Yeah, I don't know about that. That's gonna be fucking interesting if this works better for the people. I
Yeah,
hear you
but
fine, and you hear me fine, but hmm, I don't know what the fuck is going on. And nothing's changed on this. Like, only thing I changed was last night I was having some fucking tech issues with. Now it's low. Okay, well, I can fix that. The low is no problem. How about that now, Eric? Is that better? Check 1, 2, 3. I sound like T-Pain? What the fuck, man? Oh my god, this is a nightmare, John. An
that's all
absolute
good.
nightmare. No, it's really not. It's driving me fucking crazy. Okay, is this better, fellas? Ladies, I see Amanda. Mandy's in. Okay, so are you not going to do full real estate at all? I mean, just like you said, when friends join, I mean, when friends ask you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have a couple of friends that are looking in the next couple of years, so I'm like, oh yeah, I'll definitely help you guys and that kind of thing. But like other than that, like my parents are in commercial real estate, so they've kind of like helped me along and kind of like showed me the ropes and that kind of thing. But like I don't know, like I don't know what it is, but maybe it's like the fear of not a stable
Mm-hmm.
income, because it's like it's basically whatever you make is basically, whatever you sell is your income and that
Yeah.
kind of thing. So I kind of want to establish kind of a baseline of at least like a salary, and then maybe on the weekends start, selling homes and that kind of thing. But in this time of
Dude.
coronavirus is basically buyer's market, dude. Like no one's buying. It's a buyer's. I mean, no, yeah, no one's buying. I mean, no, 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 no. I'm sorry. No one's
Right,
selling.
right, right.
No, yeah. There's no like the value of the to sell is not there. So like it's a buyer's market. So, um, I mean, it is what it is at the point right now. But I'm focusing on getting my teacher's license and teachers.
Well, do you? I remember when I did real estate. It was the worst part about it was they fee you to death. There's a fee for fucking everything. You know what I mean? Like
Oh
you
yeah.
you would want to. Okay, I got to get this license. That's a fee. I got to get this thing. That's a fee. There's a desk fee. There's a at every level too. At the state, at the local, everything was a fee, and it was like, fuck, man. Can I just get a little bit of a break and maybe make a little money before you fee me to death? But it you know that's one of the reasons that I got out was I just couldn't make any money up front. It was just too much, man. Let me swap cables here, and I'm gonna try this. Hold on.
Okay.
Any better, you guys? Can you still hear me?
Hmm.
Okay. Good. Well, we just may have to say fuck it and do it for us. And they can watch it later, I guess. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Guys, I don't know what the fuck to do here. So if this ain't working, then I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Okay, well, we're rolling, John. Fuck this shit. We got too much to get to be fucking with mic issues. So let's just do it. Let's get into it. How the fuck did you get into radio? This is something you and I never talked about. How did you get started in the business?
So, I mean, in college, I wanted to do working out.
Yeah, everybody's saying perfect and better. Okay, good.
Okay. I mean, in college, I always wanted to cover teams, be a reporter, that kind of thing. In my senior year, I was covering the U of H football team. I got to travel, and I was like, man, this is so great. I get to follow the athletes, I get to follow the head coaches, and that kind of thing. And I had, if you remember the old Cumulus,
yes,
the deli downstairs. One of my old friends used to own that deli, and he was like, "Hey man, like I know Julie Takahashi, like this is the producer for ESPN 90 Sports," and I kind of told him,
"Nice rip, AJ Lee. That was outstanding."
No, so I kept telling him no because like I wanted to be in like print journalism. So I told him, you know what, like. And then he wore me down. He was like, he kept pushing me to do it, and I said, I'll do it. Like I'll see how it is. I'll do it. So I came in for an interview. I interviewed very well, and they offered me an internship in May of 2013. No, 2010.
Oh wow, okay.
No, 2013. 2013. I'm sorry. No, 2010. Fuck, I don't know. No, I'm sorry.
If it's neither of those, I'm just gonna have to slap the crap out of you. You're like 2010, no, 13, nope. Was it 11 or 12? No, 2014.
It was 2009.
That's my final offer. Senior. 2009. That's it. Is that you want to phone a friend?
No, because 2019 was 10 years at ESPN.
Okay, dope.
Yeah, so May of 2009, I said, okay, fuck it, I'm gonna go do this internship, see how it is, and I fell in love with radio, and I was like, there's no deadline for one, to turn in stories. Julie let me cover teams, go out to practices and that kind of thing, and I fell in love with it. I got to edit audio. I got to do I touched everything. I did board work and all that jazz. And so and every time they needed something, I was like, I'm there. One time I was driving home from school. I was like literally 10 minutes from home, and Julie texts me, and she goes, we need somebody right now. And I go, I'm there. And it took me 20 minutes to turn around and go back. And it's that drive. If you guys are looking into getting into like sports or broadcasting, it's literally like 90% drive. If you don't have that drive and like that worth ethic, it's not, you're not gonna get your spot in there. You're literally boxing everyone out, right? So I kind of did that in my internship group, and they hired me part-time in August of 2009, and then and radio is also opportunity based.
Yes.
And like a month or two later, one of the producers got fired, and Dave Tepper basically pulled me in and go, "We love how you work. We love your board work on the weekends. Would you like to produce Fred and Matt Dean's show on the weekends?" And I was like, fuck, I don't know how to do it, but I just said yes.
But see, Jung, that's so smart, dude. Anybody that I've ever talked to that has gotten to a significant point in their life doing something kind of in entertainment or the stuff that we do, whether it's radio, comedy, acting, it doesn't matter, but in the entertainment field, journalism, but they've all said yes even when they weren't really ready, even when they felt like they weren't ready, because like you said, this is an opportunity business, and when the opportunity comes, you just have to fucking go do it and just trust that I'll figure it out because I'm smart enough or whatever. And so that was the same thing with you. You weren't ready, but you were like, fucking, I'm not going to tell them that, right?
Yeah. I said, yeah. Dave goes, are you like we'll help you. We'll have somebody like maybe in there to train you,
Right.
but can you do it? Can you do it?" And I go, "I'm in. I can do it." And then there was I think that was like on a Monday, and then I had to prep for the show on Saturday, Sunday. We were doing 2 days a week at that point, and then we were doing so. I was in there every single day trying to learn, and Abel Rodriguez, who's been one of the best people I've ever known in radio, so nice. Trained me, and he was so nice, and he kind of showed me the ropes, and so I was like, thank you. And then Saturday hit, and I hit the music, and I'm trying to turn the mics on, and they're like they're on, but they can't hear themselves. Fred's like talking, doing his monologue, and he can't hear it. And I'm like, what's going on? And I forget to pot up the mics. So like I pot up the mics.
So you
and,
fucking you turn them hot, but you don't pot them up at the same time. Hilarious.
Yeah, and then like for a second, I was like, what is going on? And I see that the mics. So I potted them up, and so he's like, "Oh, come into the front page." So it was kind of a disaster, but like I think like with radio, it's like you have to learn from your mistakes.
Yes.
And once you learn your mistakes, you make sure you don't make those mistakes again. And for the most part, I didn't make the same mistakes twice. And that was Dave's always thing with producers, like, it's okay to mess up. It's fine. Everyone messes up, but learn from your mistakes. Make sure you don't make that mistake, multiple times over and over again. Then like once you learn from those mistakes, like then you can kind of strengthen and like become a better producer and that kind of thing.
Dave, dude,
that's kind of how I started.
That's amazing too, and it's a great story because it wasn't like you were like, I'm going to be a radio guy from the jump, right? You were like, I want to do something, and then you kind of stumbled into radio, and then you end up the producer and APD at ESPN at a point when ratings have never been better, when it's never gone better, and that has to be a wonderful feeling, man. Like you were given an opportunity, a small one, and you climbed to the point to where you got to, and under your watch, all of the shows were thriving. There were new shows like ours, and you have to look back, and I know it didn't end like ideally, but you have to look back and be really proud of what you accomplished.
Yeah, I mean, up to a certain point, like I felt very. I feel like I have. I don't know what that. Where like I feel like I haven't earned anything, and like I have to keep constantly trying to prove myself. No, I think it's imposter syndrome or something like that, where like this is too good to be true. Like none of this is my success, and I try to go out and like try to prove myself. And even like when I got hired, there was Dave told me that you have to wait a couple weeks before this can be official, and for the longest time I didn't tell anybody that I got
would be
hired
so difficult.
Not even my parents, because until it cleared that I got hired, that I felt like I still didn't obtain it. So when that 2 weeks were up, I went to my mom. I told her and my dad, and then I told my friends, and I was like, I finally got hired like full time, and then we kind of celebrated and that kind of thing. But like with the whole radio station, like with the success that came with like becoming basically 7 to 9 every single day, I kept telling myself, oh, like I may have suggested. It's because of these other people that the radio station is having more success. Like, I don't think that it's because of me or anything that I've done that the radio station is seeing such a huge success. Like, oh, I think it's because like, they have such great talent and producers and that kind of thing. And like looking back on it, I think it's probably somewhere in the middle. But at the time, I kept telling myself like, none of this is because, and because of that, I feel like I don't know. I felt like I had so much more stuff that I needed to do at the station to become successful for me, that like I just felt like, I don't know, I felt like, I'm just there, I'm just holding a seat, and I'm just basically somebody that's like, just doing the day-to-day stuff. And like, I don't know, like it just felt like that's kind of how it felt like.
Well, part of that I think is you're a humble dude. Like you and I were talking after I forget what show it was, which one of these
It was Joel.
after the live chat with Joel, and I said, I did you a disservice because we didn't talk about you enough. We didn't give you the credit that you deserved for the roles that you played. And you said, dude, I don't care because I never cared about the credit. And that speaks volumes for how you are and how you were at that station. Like, we could have had all the success in the world and all of us would have beaten our chest and wanted to claim a piece of that. And that wasn't something that you would do. You would be proud of us and you would be happy for us, but you would never claim that, even though you were a huge part of that. Like, you had so much to do with that, man. Like, when Joel and I first started, man, God bless you. You were a rock for us, dude. And, you had to make tough decisions, not just on our show, but on other shows. And you had dude, you were the assistant programming director, and really you were the PD. I mean, you did all of those functions. You may not have gotten the title, but you did pretty much all of that stuff. And so you deserved a lot of credit for the success that we had at ESPN, because it was during your reign, man. And that just, you earned that.
So when Tepper left, there was the opening for program director, and Tepper like fought for me, and God bless him, and like he's been my mentor my entire adult life, and he fought for me. He said Jong knows how to do everything, and I don't know if it's because like of my soft spokenness, or the fact that like I'm kind of, I'm not very big in stature, and like I don't, and Chris Hall at the time, who was a GM, and David Gao, who is the owner and CEO of Gao Media. I don't know if it's because they never got to know me, and from what I heard from Tepper was like, they know the day-to-day stuff,
Mm-hmm.
the scheduling and all that kind of stuff. They just don't know if you can handle the meetings. And then I was like, well, give me a chance. And that's what Tepper said. And until the very last day before Tepper left, he fought for me, and they finally said, okay, we'll give him a chance. And I think it was maybe 3 years. I think I held that position for 3 years, and they basically brought me in and go, we can't give you the program, and fuck Chris Hall. And
you heard it here first, folks.
Basically, no, I really despise that guy. And I could tell you that a lot of people at the radio station does despise that guy.
Really?
But anyway, they basically brought me in and go, we don't think that, we can name you program director because like it's more of an interim thing. I was basically an interim coach for 3 years, the interim head coach for 3 years. And they were like, we'll give you this programming coordinator. They made up a position because they didn't want to.
Is that really not a thing? Is that not a thing? Because me, I don't really know the radio business. I'm fucking new. I don't know any of the titles.
No, Tepper was like, they're going to give you this phony title that I've never heard of. But, but he told me, like, it is an opportunity. So don't turn it down. Take it and make it your own.
Like when you had the opportunity to step up and produce on Saturdays. It was like, maybe you lack some things because you've never done that role, but you were fucking game. And, dude, say what you want, but during your run, your reign as APD, or no, what was it?
Programming coordinator.
Programming coordinator. I mean, the ratings were off the charts. You were there for the entirety almost of the Blitz's reign at number one, correct?
Yeah. So they gave me that opportunity. And okay, so I'm gonna take you back to when I
Please
first
do.
got hired.
That's why you're here, buddy. Like, we got all the time in the world. I don't give a fuck. Let's get, because I know you've done the Blitz and you've done, but this is all about you, man. This is all about you.
If you could guess a first full-time producer, how the salary, what would you guess?
A full-time producer
At Cumulus.
at Cumulus? Man, I don't know. I'd say 35, 40.
Cut that shit in half.
What?
They offered me, and so I mean, I'm a bright-eyed kid out of
Yeah.
college. Like, oh, I've had a couple jobs here and there, but I've never held like a professional full-time job. They fucking offered me 18 grand.
Oh my God. God damn.
And I fucking accepted it in a heartbeat because I was basically getting paid $12 an hour, 30 hours a week. And so, essentially I was getting paid in between anywhere from 10 to 12 grand a year. And
So it was a
then they
huge
were
raise
like,
for you.
"We'll
So
gi-"
you're like, fuck yeah.
So they were like, we'll give you 18. And then like, they were just kind of proud of like, oh, you should be proud of this, you know? And so
You should
like,
be thankful.
I accepted
You should
it.
be thankful that we're giving you
Yeah.
this. That's a
And
very
I
radio
know-
thing to do.
Oh, for sure.
Such a radio
And then,
thing to do.
Everybody that came over from Cumulus doesn't have great things to say about it. And, I'm kind of being very candid about it. I get paid 18 grand for my entire time at Cumulus, which I think must have been like 2 or 3 years. And then Cumulus went bankrupt.
Well, it wasn't because
and
they were
we,
overpaying.
I mean, cheap as fuck. But Gal Media bought us, and I had a meeting with Craig Larson and David Gow, and they were discussing who they were going to bring over. They liked me to be. I think Dave fought for me real hard to be his right-hand guy, and I basically was like, I don't know if I can do this job for 18 grand.
And Tepper was with Cumulus, so he when David Gow and Craig Larson bought, when they came in and the station was bought, they bought everybody, right? Everything.
Yes, they basically bought like all the talent and all the producers and whatnot. But they were still interviewing people to see who they wanted to bring over. And they basically interviewed me, and I think Dave fought for me to come over as his right-hand guy. And I told Craig, I was like, I can't do this job for 18 grand. And Craig was like, we can offer you a 6 increase, but that's about it. Because we can't, because I completely understand, like, they cannot, like, as a company, you cannot give an employee a 100% bump.
No.
Which would have put me to 36,000, right?
Because when you look at buying a station, you're looking at salaries and costs and all that, and that factors into the purchase.
And
sure.
you can't justify that to the board where you're like,
Right.
oh, we're gonna give this person a 100% increase. So they gave me a nice little bump. The percentage was huge,
Yeah.
and so they brought me over, and Dave was like, please stick it out. I want you to be my right hand guy, and eventually down the line, I'm gonna try to get you the APD title. And sure enough, a few years down the line, he gave me the APD title and got a huge increase, and huge relatively, because I was making 24.
Yeah.
And so I think I want to say it was maybe like an 80% bump. So I'm forever grateful for Dave Tepper just for the stuff that he's done for me and like the advice and everything.
Dave is one of my favorite people in this business, bar none. I mean, you know this. He is.
Oh yeah.
When you talk about dudes that are just salt of the earth, it's team first. He cares about everybody else before he ever cares about himself or his stature in this business or what he's gonna. Like you said, he fought for you. Dave, when I won Rock the Mic, he would call me every week or two and give me advice. He would listen to the show. Dude, no one listened to that fucking show when Shock and I were doing it at first. No one. At one point, and it's funny, but Shock said he had a meeting with David Gow, and he was like, oh, I didn't even know you guys were still doing that show. Like that's how little they knew of us on the weekend. But we were just plugging along, and I mean, for me, everything worked out great. But Tepper, when he was here, every 2 weeks he'd call me, "Hey, I heard you do this interview. Here's what you could do better. Here's what I liked." Because that's how Dave was, right? He would tell you the things you did good make you feel good, and then he would tell you something that you could do to get better. And to this day, I still use the stuff that he taught me in interviewing because it made me a better interviewer in one phone call. I mean, that's the kind of guy Dave was, man. He was so great. Loved him.
Yeah, and so I mean, when we move over to Gal, I mean, Fred can tell you, like Fred and AJ will tell you. I think initially the leash was a little short, and then as they kind of took us in, and I think in this it was blessing, and he got a nice cush job in Atlanta. Like he was gonna be on TV, he was gonna do radio. Like CBS built this like huge radio TV like studio, and like they had even now I think they have the biggest stick in Atlanta.
Who does?
It covers Carl Dukes'
okay,
station.
because you blanked out for a second. I think you're having Wi-Fi issues because it kind of it jitters a little bit. But okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Carl. Like the CBS was gonna start this huge sports radio station. I think it's like 92.5 or something, and he's still there. But Dave was like, Carl, I can't blame you for going if they're gonna offer you like the 6-figure job with TV opportunity and that kind of thing. And I guess I already threw him under the bus. But Dave fought for the Blitz to become that drive time show, and Paul didn't want us to be in that spot because we were so risque at the midday show that he was like, "Oh, my friends say this shit's not gonna work." Dave was like, "Your friends aren't our demographic. Your 56-year-old friends aren't our demographic. We have a very young audience that is gonna latch on to the things that we do." Like, and there's a lot of shit that Dave did, and like the biggest thing was he fought for our show to be moved from. I mean, at the time, anybody with an ego, who's gonna move from a drive time spot to a midday show? Dave was in a prime time spot, 4 to 7 prime time spot with Carl Dukes, and he was just like, Fred and AJ are gonna be better at this. Put him in the drive time spot.
That's so amazing, John. I didn't know that. Like, I'm literally learning this for the first time right now, and it blows my fucking mind. I don't think people, if you're not in radio, you don't understand how big that 4 to 7. Like, dudes have sucked cock to get a 4 to 7. Like, it's so coveted, and for him to recognize the genius that was Fred and AJ and you and the Blitz, and to take a back seat to it. That's just unbelievable. I loved Tepper before, but that's just unbelievable, man. That is such a cool story.
Yeah, and so that happened, and like the rest is history. Where like we basically took off, and I mean, you guys know, 10 years in that
game recognized game, right? Like
not
Tepper knew. Look, this show with these three is just going to fucking take over this market, and that's exactly what happened. It takes some time, signal issues and people knowing that there's sports on FM and all those things. But once everybody figured it out and found out, it was game over. I mean, and Tepper knew it would be. That's great, man.
Yeah, and then we brought in Jerome. I think there was a tryout there where Madam Blanton and Jerome Solomon were Madam Blanton.
No, you didn't.
Joel's worst enemy. It was between.
John, I've already talked shit about Adam Clanton like 3 other times on these live chats in a month, bro. Don't worry, you can say his name.
All right.
We've talked. I called him a cunt during AJ's live show, so you're good. Trust me, you can mention his name.
So I have nothing against him. He's treated me with nothing but like respect and praise. Like
wow. Like, you're the first person I met that actually liked the dude. Swear to you. And I'm not even saying that to be a dick. You know that's true. A lot of people don't like him in this market. Okay.
Sure, for sure. But I didn't realize that until like halfway through my radio career that nobody liked him.
Yeah.
But look, he's treated me with nothing but respect. So like I have no hate
I
towards
get
him.
that. You know what? Because I'm like that, man. If there are people that are just genuinely disliked, but that person has never done anything to me, I'm not going to dislike that person because everybody else does.
Oh,
I'm going
sure.
to treat him how he treats me, and if he treats me good, that's why I respect that. I'm not hanging up on you just because you like Adam Clanton. I get that.
I have I respect him, but we fall on lines of political stuff. I'm more of a moderate, maybe like leaning left and socially left and conservative, like fiscally. Some of this shit that's going on in California, I think is so stupid. But like I mean, you treated me kindly, and I have respect for him the way that he's been. I mean, to his own right, he's been very successful.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Long career.
That. Yeah, I have nothing but respect for that. Like he's done TV, he's done radio multiple times. His type of radio, not necessarily the way that I would. And so it was basically he had tryouts with Adam and Jerome, and so there were cons and pros to both. And Dave, we literally sat down for like 2 hours after the Blitz, and he was like, "We need to talk about this because like this is going to be big because it's going to be the midday show." And he laid out Jerome can't really do ads, the sales staff can't sell him, but Adam is like going to be full-time radio. They can sell him. And I basically said, I don't want to, well, I kind of don't want to offend Adam, but I basically said Jerome has a higher ceiling, much better. Like I think Jerome can get the better rating of the two.
Okay.
If you want to go safe, make money off of somebody, let's do Adam. But if you want to take this midday show and make it great, and